Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the second night of the playoffs here in the CM0102 Super League. Can anyone watching along let me know if you can hear any background noise? I'd appreciate it, because obviously I don't want to get us cancelled, but I have got in the background just some backing commentary of the live Premier League action. So if you can hear it, let me know, and I will turn it down so we don't get caught for broadcasting infringement. And Mike's saying he can hear it. That's a shame. We are at, as I said, night 2 of the playoffs. Oh, Doug's saying he can't hear it. And Alex is saying he can hear it. It's bizarre. We are night 2 of the playoffs. So what have we got this evening for our entertainment? We've got the second legs of the elimination finals. Bern host Coast, Sancte host Stanley, and of course all 3 of the red cards were appealed. None of them were approved by the Australian FA. Sancte do have that ever critical away goal. At the conclusion of those 2 games, Vikings and Badgers enter the fray as well. Let's get straight into it, and it is Bern versus Coast we start with. Just a reminder of the rules going into it. Sorry, excuse me. Away goals used if scores are level after 90 minutes. Golden goal extra time if scores are level after 90 minutes. Penalty shootout if scores remain level. 5 subs named, 3 used. When we played this game the other night, of course, Roberto Carlos got sent off early. Zales got sent off late. And the Dario Hussein goal separates the sides. So Bern, again, an awful looking pack. But Mr. Edwards has reacted and recognises the situation, and he has changed things up. That's right. Northern Bern have altered their tactics to try and throw everything at getting back in this game. Keane is joined by Drozdov in defensive midfield. Totti moves out to the left with Duff on the right. Scholes playing essentially on his own. And Cassano plays a supporting role to Montella and to Mudo. Look at the instant reaction in the chat. Loving the reaction here. Absolutely, just lots of different emojis and size of those arrows too. Haggis don't kick off tonight. Like the Sloths, they failed to make it. As for their opposition, a much kinder pack with only the sent-off Sailors unavailable means that they line up very similarly with Michelini coming in, everything else remaining the same. So, as we say, Coast 1-0 up, no away goal for Burn. Let us know who is going through to play the winner of Stanley versus Sancte. Throw your predictions in the chat as we kick off game number 1, and almost an instant goal for the home side. It is a strong side, Alex, you're right. And Cassano, his first appearance for a little while, and it's only lasted 16 minutes before he has had to go off. I'm just looking here. Does Rosu come on maybe? Play on that left-hand side, or does Scholes move up? Does he trust Fiore after that 4 last time out? A big decision this for Ian, who I have seen in the chat, but he is up in the very highest of Highlands today. Palermo is the answer. All out attack for Burn. Let's see. It's the second game running. He's had to change it fairly early in the game. And what a goal that is for Coast. They're now 2 up on aggregate, but crucially have that away goal, which means there will not be any extra time, whatever happens. We know that for a fact. Now Burn have to score 3 to go through. And half-time, East Coast still with that clean sheet, giving Burn 45 minutes to save their season. It's about time Ronnie did something for Dims. Everything to do for Burn. Jens suggested the other night that Coast are going to win it outright this season. Could this be their year? Not awful ratings. Everyone who started the game and remains on the pitch on a 7 or above, other than Tamudo. Taram is on a booking. 87 is the lowest fitness. As for Coast, Uliano on a 9 despite his booking. A couple of 6s, but all 7s and 8s otherwise. And Ian, further reaction. He is throwing everything he possibly can at this. To answer your question, Alex, Ali McCoist is probably my favourite co-com stroke summariser out there. He is brilliant value. Dimble going as is. Let's resume the second half. First chance of the half falls to the away side. And Hussein misses a glorious opportunity. And there's one. Do Burn believe? We reached the hour mark. Free kicking and attacking position. Michelini's just been booked. This is where the managers earn their money. 1-1 on the night, 2-1 on aggregate. The away goal could come into play. Burn still need 2 goals. Half an hour to save their season. Coast have looked so solid. They equaled the record for fewest goals conceded. But do they have the bottle to maintain their position tonight? Big decisions for both managers. While we wait for Ian to decide, let's go over to Coast. Juliano still performing to the highest levels. Barry Ferguson turning up on the big night as well. big decisions here for both managers. Who's going to blink first? Ian is believing in his team, and all he's doing is telling Scholes to be more adventurous. What does Dimble do here? You can forgive the managers taking that bit longer to decide. Dimble sticking with the players that have done him well so far. Let's see how it pans out. A goal for Byrne here. Oh, and that's killed it, surely. Ronaldinho with his second of the night. It's now 3-1 on aggregate, and Byrne need 3 again. And there's the final whistle. And in the end, Coast cruised through to the next round, winning both games. We're clear on the away goals as well. And a dominant performance by the away side sees them qualify for the next round, which means Northern Byrne's season is over. It was just not enough for them this season. Ian said, I think it was in the last stream, that they haven't been good enough for weeks, and it was an indictment of the rest of the league that they still made the playoffs. Well, that indictment is over, as they just were not good enough over 180 plus minutes against East Coast. Congratulations, though, to Coast and Dimble, who progress to the next round. Next, we go to the second leg of Sancte versus Stanley. As the commiseration and well done messages start coming in the chat. One change for Sancte, and that is a fit again. Harry Kuehl comes in just in time with back being suspended. One change as well for Rose, who are still without Scally. He is trying desperately to get back to play his part. And the one change sees Mido start, with João Pinto dropping to the bench. So let's just remind ourselves, one apiece. Sancte do have an away goal. So as it stands, if the game finishes as it starts, Sancte will qualify. Let me know who you think in the chat as we kick off the second leg of this game. And it's, Michael Owen with an early goal for Sancte. It doesn't really alter the situation for Stanley. They knew they had to score tonight. And they are trying to score. Sancte have weathered a bit of a storm here. And just playing their way back into it again. And half-time, 1-0 on the night, 2-1 on aggregate. As I said, though, it hasn't really changed the situation for Stanley. They knew they had to score. They've had a few attempts, just failed to convert thus far. Having a look at the ratings for the home team. And what a big performance by Jaap Stam tonight. And Michael Owen as well. He is doing his job. Mike says it's close. Martin says that Maxim must do better. It's a fast half for Dan. And Duggan going as is. He must be feeling quite confident right now. That does not look pretty, though, for Stanley. Nobody above a 6 in the ratings. 2 players on 5s. What does Mike do to get his team back into this now? João Pinto, the only real attacking option. and there's the frustration of many a manager over the years. It's gone as is. Why now not turn up? Let's see if the second half can offer better things for you, Mike. Plenty of red and black text. And we've reached the hour. Still 1-0 to Sancte. Yapstam still on that 9 performance. Still no one in the book. Still no conditional problems. Martin, things have changed over the years. We have new names, we have new legends. Duggan going as is. You don't seem as playoff excited tonight. 5 everything okay? Yeah, everything's fine, mate. Everything's absolutely fine. Got a couple of 7s in there now, but it still doesn't read very well. Maxim really is not up for the big occasion tonight, is he? On a 5, on a yellow. Condition's not really an issue. Oh, excuse me. Rose have to go for it here. They've got half an hour to save their season. Yes, it would appear Man U have just scored, Alex, yes. Mike taking his time to make sure he gets this right. Surely you're not considering taking Sigalko off in this situation. He is the man to score the goals on the big occasion, is he not? Here is the answer. So sand off for João Pinto. So João come back. Pinto to AMC with Arrow. Mida up top. Like this. I think this is how Stanley are going for it. If you could just confirm, Mike, that that's how you envisage it looking, please. Mido and Sigalko as a front 2. Pinto and CMAC in support. Savage just behind. And he's saying, yep, thank you. Okay, let's do this. Half an hour to save your season then, Stanley. What have you got in you? And that's got to be it. Sancte have scored a second. It's now 3-1 on aggregate. Into the final 10 minutes. Into the final couple of minutes. And there's the final whistle. Sancte again, much like Coast were to Burn, just too strong for the opposition. Stanley did create, but just did not turn up on the night. Such a shame for Mike that the season's petered out the way it has after being so impressive for large parts. But Sancte go on and will play Coast in a one-match shootout. Michael Owen picks up man of the match for his performance. Yap Stam has to be commended as well, as does your Gatos out on that left-hand side. Stanley's ratings did improve, but it was just not good enough on the night, sadly, for them, and their season is done. So that means, as I say, we have now got Sancte versus Coast for the right to play the loser of Vikings versus Badgers, of which the first leg is coming straight up. Once we skip through all this news. Here we go then. Vikings versus Badgers. A duck and dimple dance again, indeed. Vikings versus Badgers. And here is the team for Vikings who are without the suspended Lasisi. So Cafu leads the side out. Yepes and Ferdinand are the chosen centre-back partnership. Defensive midfield line is unchanged. Emerson normally partners Nedved or Sokoviak, But Emerson, in fact, drops to the bench, and Nedved and Sokoviak partner each other with Brozek in support of Henri. I didn't actually post this like I did for the other games the other day. So here is the head-to-head record in this iteration. Dead level. The only thing separating them, Badgers have scored one additional goal. Interesting to note, the home team has not won any of the 4 fixtures so far. Not good reading that for Vikings. As for Badgers, they rested a few players in the last game. You may recall Desai, I think, was captain. Tato, if you just want to confirm that while I talk through. All of the big names are back. Toldo back in goal, Klompe, Okoronkwo, Simeone, Desai, and Butt in the defensive positions. The right wing is the interesting one. Suchowski gets the nod for this game with Giggs on the left, and then Nicky Forenko in support of Roberts and Rossini. Reminder, this one is a 2-legged affair. So the next stream, which should be Sunday night, will see the one-off game between Sancte and Coast, and then the second leg of this game. So let's hear your predictions for this first leg as we kick off Vikings versus Badgers. Busy opening, 20 minutes, no goals yet. Oh, they had to score, but they didn't. Alex predicting 4-3. Is that the Chelsea game or is that this game, Alex? Half-time. It's flown by. It's been cagey. It's been nervy. Both teams have created chances. Neither have managed to score. It's the Vikings then. Everyone on a 7, with the exception of Baumer on that left-hand side. He's on an 8. Thierry Henry, quiet game by his standards so far. He is on a 6. Nobody in the book, and everybody above 90%, with the exception of Wilfried Baumer, who is on an 8. As for the Badgers, similar kind of reading, really. Lots of 7s and 8s throughout. Nicky Forenko, ZZ Roberts, and Rossini on 6s. Nobody in the book. Everyone above 90%, with the exception of Simeone, the God's gift to midfielders. He is on 82%. Jens content with what he's seen, as is Tato, so we shall carry on. And Giggs has scored, and it's an away goal as well. Oh, and now there's a red card. Oh, it's all turned horribly, horribly wrong for the Vikings in very, very quick succession. Ryan Giggs opens the scoring, and it's an away goal for Badgers. And then Rio Ferdinand gets himself sent off, all within the first 4 minutes of the second half. The referees are out to determine where this trophy goes this season, it would appear. Tato happy with to stay the same, thank you. You're right, Steve. Big one that Kaladze for Jeremy's. Parade is central. Did you want Kaladze on the left? And he's taking the arrow off Sokoviak. The right is fine. Lovely, thank you. We carry on to the hour mark then. Goal up, man up. This is Badgers' ideal territory, you would imagine. And then 15 minutes goes by with nothing happening. So 20 minutes left of this first leg. What does Tater suggesting it's a lack of faith. The mental games are going on the touchline, as well as the physical games on the pitch. Does Jens chase this with 10 men, given that this is the home leg, or does he just try and see it out and go again in the second? Double change is coming. So Emerson for Sokoviak. Swap with Nedved. Tomadira for Henri. No worries. Brave man says this won't be the final, says Duggan. Paredes shouldn't be a subject of doubt. There's been a lot of Paredes chat this season. As for the Badgers, are they content? Do they just see it out? Skoviak in the book, nobody below 7 rating on the pitch. Simeone has dropped to 74%, but condition is a myth, of course, so Tato will not care one jot about that, I'm sure. Duggan's saying Tate's going to go as is, but he is wrong. Saviola on for Roberts. And Zanoni on for Butt. No problem. Changes for both managers. Vikings now starting to come forward. We'll slow it down. 1 goal in it. 10 minutes to go. Swichowski. Oh, and that's 2. And it's that game set match already. I said that it can be won and lost in the first leg. But Vikings have to be very careful now. Not to let this get away from them. Free kick to the home team. Yepes, Brozek, Nedved. Corner kick. And now on the counter. Rossini, Nicky Franco. Swichowski, Giggs, Saviola. Still Saviola. Rossini. Oh, and it's gone out for a corner. And still maybe one last chance. Just to keep it interesting. No. Full-time whistle goes. The 10 men couldn't keep it tight. And Badgers get 2 away goals in the first leg. Wow, indeed, Duggan. And take a firm grip on a place in the final. Both teams wasteful in front of goal again. But Badgers doing just enough on the night. Looking now at the ratings for Vikings. Jens saying that the red card did it. And then the victorious Badger side with Rossini picking up the Man of the Match award. So that concludes tonight's action. Reminder that on Sunday night from 9 o'clock, you will see the second leg of this game, plus the one-off shootout between Sancte and East Coast. The winner of this tie straight to the final. The loser will play the winner of Sancte versus Coast. Thank you very much for joining us for this sort of half-hour sprint through. We will see you again on Sunday. Enjoy the rest of the football, lads. Good night.